What's up, guys? Shawn with the Guaranteed Success Plan, and today we're actually going to go over goal setting. But not just goal setting, we're going to break it down into individual action plans built for your business, because action is what helps us not sleep on our dreams. All right, guys, let's just get right into it. All right, so when we're talking about goal setting, the number one thing we have to do is make sure we get our big why, the real reason why we're in real estate, why we're going to be working evenings, weekends, answering our phone 24/7, all that kind of stuff. So we need to make sure our big why is figured out. So you need to find out what that is for you individually. Once we get our big why, we're going to break that down into our annual goals. So what we need to do this year that's going to add up into our 5-year big why. So I've already got this kind of pre-filled out, but we're going to go through it. We're going to start here on the top right corner with GCI. So that's gross commission income. That's how much commission we want to make total by the end of the year. We need to start with our gross commission income because we need to know how much we want to make, because that's going to equate how much work we need to put in. So GCI, we're going to just start with $250,000. I don't think that's anything extravagant. I also don't think that's a small goal. So $250,000 is a really good target. Even if you're a new agent or an agent that's been making $100, $150 for a while, let's just bump that up. If you're making more than $250 now, then just plug in numbers for that. So what I did is we take $250,000 and we're going to divide it out by what the average sale is and then the commission of that average sale. So I'm just going to use about $8,500 on average. So if we take $250,000 and divide it by $8,500, that's going to give us 30 deals. Now, we don't want 15 and 15 split, because if we're working too many buyers, we're trading too much time for money, and we're just chasing them around town all the time, doing a bunch of CMAs and all that kind of stuff, and we're not spending our time prospecting for more business. So we want to have at least 2-to-1 listings to buyers. So if we're going to have 2-to-1 listings to buyers and we're looking for 30 transactions, that's going to be 20 listings, 10 buyers. Right now, all the market research is indicating that it's about 1 in 2 listing presentations closed. So if we're going to do 50% closing ratio on listing presentations, that means we know that we got to do 40 listing presentations to add up to 20 listings. Okay? I know some of these numbers seem big and scary, but we're going to break these down so that they're a lot less scary and way more manageable. So now all we're going to do is take our annual goals and simply divide that by 12. That's going to give us our monthly targets. So 30 divided by 12, and we always round up. We're always looking to exceed expectations. If we're going to set our goals short, we're going to start falling short. So we can't do obviously 2.5 or 2.7 deals per month. We're going to have to round that up to 3. So again, we're going to take 30 deals per year, divide that by 12. That's going to give us 3 deals per year. 20 listings, again divided by 12, that's going to give us 2 listings and 1 buyer. So we're looking for 3 deals a month basically in order to add up to the 30. So this is getting a little bit less scary. Again, we're 50% closing ratio on listing presentations, so that's going to be 4 listing presentations to close 2 listings. Now our weekly goal, we're just going to divide that down by 4. Now you can't again have decimal points or half a deal and that kind of stuff. So we're just basically going to have 1 of each. So we're going to be shooting for 1 listing, 1 buyer, 1 listing presentation, and that'll equate to at least 1 deal. But obviously we're getting more is better. So this is how we break it down by the week. And now we're going to divide it into the day. And this is where it gets really important, because these are the activities that we're going to do all day long that are going to add up to the weekly goals, that are going to add up to the monthly goals, add up to the annual goals, and eventually help us hit our GCI target. So once we have our daily goals broken down, we can go and make a schedule. So these are the general prospecting activities that we need to be doing every day in order to generate the type of business that we want, so we hit our GCI targets. So follow-up calls. So this is you just following with old leads. Again, now this is a compound interest type activity. When you're first starting out, you're not going to have 5 or 10 or 50 people to follow up with, but as you start doing business for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you get those warm leads moving into hot leads, those cold leads moving into warm leads, you're going to have more people to follow up with. So we want to be looking at about 10 follow-up calls every single day. Social media and hours farming. This is one of the most important activities you can do for your business. So I'm not talking about scrolling aimlessly on social memedia. We have a whole bunch of videos listed down below that talk about our social media strategies, but we need to be spending at least 2 hours a day nurturing our social media and growing our sphere hyper-locally. Again, that's not scrolling aimlessly, that's clicking, DMing, commenting, sharing. That's going to create engagement on the platforms. Listing presentations, we're going to be shooting for 1 a day, but realistically, if we can get 2 a week is really what we're after. Next up is circle prospecting. A lot of people see this as cold calling. I know the biggest coaches in the world right now have that as cold calling. For me personally, that's how it worked in the community. So every time I leave the house, it's a mandatory, I have to hand out 5 business cards. That's if I'm going through the drive-thru and I'm getting a coffee. As they hand me the debit terminal, I'm putting it in, I'm having a quick conversation, I'm passing it back with my business card. If I'm out at the grocery store or something like that, I'm not just talking to the people at the cash register, I'm just making conversation generally with people that are out and about. As after we have a bit of a conversation, I'm handing them my business card, and I'm gonna get at least 5 every time we go out, because again, these are gonna turn into future prospects. Best case is actually if we can follow each other on social media, because then we can stay in touch much easier. Next is contacts added to the CRM. Every single day, you need to be working on adding contacts into your CRM. That's your customer relations management. And again, that's so you can keep your weekly newsletter full and thriving. That weekly newsletter is going to be a godsend to your business. It's something that is an absolute non-negotiable. If you guys aren't doing it now, literally shame on you. You're leaving business on the table. So make sure that you get that going. Warm calls is to your sphere. So we're going to make the schedule here next. But warm calls is literally working with people that are in your phone book. So every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for a few hours, I was always warm calling my people. I don't know why this is such a big problem. Like so many people just can't call the numbers in their phone. At some point in time, they gave you their number. You might not remember who they are and that kind of stuff, but realistically, getting back in touch with them, keeping them warm is going to be a huge source for referrals and just business in general. So we're looking for 4 to 6 warm calls every single week. So we're looking for 4 to 6 warm calls, not every single day, but 2 or 3 times a week. Door knocking, if you guys are gonna go door knocking, do it properly. We have all of these prospecting activities for you guys on YouTube, so you can click through my channel and find them all. But door knocking, we like to go every Thursday, Friday and door knock for open houses. And then when we acquire buyer clients, we actually go and door knock for listings for our buyer clients. So we got a whole strategy built around that. But Thursday, Friday, you wanna be out door knocking again for your opens mostly. And then social media, how many people are you adding to your social media every single day? Because if your social media is not growing, it's actually technically shrinking because other people's are growing and they're getting influence over the people that you should be getting the influence on. So these are daily goals, and these don't look like big scary numbers, right? It's just literally planning to make sure they get done every day, and if they do, your business will grow. So let's start adding that up and see what the year looks like. So if we start timing out the things, so follow-up calls, if we're gonna be doing it 5 days a week, that's gonna be 50 follow-up calls in a day. Warm calls, same thing. If we're doing it 3 times a week, that's going to be 12 to 18 calls. Door knocking, this again, if we're going Thursday, Friday, it's going to be 50 to 100 because we want to knock at least 50 doors every single time we go out. And social media, we're just going to times that up again, 21 followers every single week. Now all we do, times that by 4. So same thing, if we're doing 50 follow-up calls in a week, times by 4, we're looking for 200 follow-up calls every single month. I know a lot of you guys are like, what, 200? That looks scary all of a sudden because I'm not making any time, but you have to make sure you dial into your business. Follow-up is a massive portion of the business, and these are the amount of calls you'll be making if you're gonna be successful. Warm calls, same thing to your sphere. We're looking for 48 to 72 a month. And door knocking, again, 200 to 400 if we're going out for 4 weeks. Social media, we're just gonna round this one up to 100. The goal should literally be to grow your account by 100 followers organically every single month. I remember when I started in the business, literally my social media, I had like 260 followers. It was completely redundant and useless to my business, but I knew it was gonna be massive for the business. So I've made a goal to just start growing it by 100 a month. And I'm telling you guys, if you follow our social media strategies, our social media blitz, you will be able to do this. Now let's add that up for the year. We're talking about 1,200 new followers every single year. Potentially could be more if you really hammer this down. Door knocking, we're gonna be 2,400 to 4,800 doors. That sounds absolutely ludicrous as an annual target, but when you break it down by the day, literally it's just every week, twice a week, 50 to 100 doors. Warm calls, same thing. 500, 600 warm calls sounds absolutely crazy, but it's not. If you actually go to work and you make sure you're making those warm calls week in, week out, you don't let up on it. Connecting with that many people, imagine the amount of referrals or business you're gonna be getting because your people know people. So now see, these numbers look big and scary, but if you actually break it down into the daily targets, it's not that hard. Real estate itself is not hard, it's just hard work. You just gotta make sure that you stay disciplined and focused and consistent with your effort, and these numbers will all happen and they'll add up to a $250,000 a year. That's gonna put you into like the top 5% income earners on the planet, right? So this kind of money to do this kind of work, I think is not so bad. Now, once you've got your daily goals, the things you need to make sure that you hit every single day, we move over to our daily schedule because now we need to schedule these things in. So one of the biggest things that I find with agents, again, because they become business owners and they're no longer employees in their business, or they don't understand they're an employee, they don't wake up on time, right? They wake up whenever they want, 8, 9, 10, noon. That is not how you would act if you were working inside a business. So understanding that you are your only employee, wake up on time and get stuff done. So we got a whole video on morning routines as well, but we need to make sure that we wake up on time and we hit our morning routines, which is gonna help our body and our mental health and take care of everything we need to take care of before we start our day. So schedule this for whenever you need to wake up so that before everybody else is up, that you're fully running. Cold calls, again, we left this cold call on here. I personally don't believe in cold calls anymore. We've cut it out of the training, we've cut it out of the program, but I know there's cold calls in here, so we left it for you. If you guys are taking our advice and you're not doing it, move that over to social media. And again, we got all those videos on social media blitzes that you can learn. But from 8 till 11 or 11:30, you should be hammering out social media, making sure your algorithm stays high, making sure your audience is engaged, and making sure that you're getting more followers hyper locally in the communities you want to work. This takes time. Social media plan. So I like to break for lunch and then do the social media plan. Just get a little recharge, completely turn your phone off, and truly take a break. Then you come back. Full strength. So this is going to be the planning of the content and actually making a post. Could be a story post, could be a feed post, but you got to make sure that you're posting something every single day. You got to keep that audience engaged. So that's going to take you about an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the most. And then we start getting into our follow-up. So if you have 10 people to follow up and you're actually scheduling everything in properly, you're going to need another hour, hour and a half for that. So we do from 1:30 till 3. Then we're going to take another break. So if you go here and you see read, free, family time, you need to take breaks. You need to spend time with your family. You need to spend time for yourself. So we can mix in an hour, maybe 2 hours there. And then we're going to go out and we're going to either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm making warm calls. So from 4:30 till 7:30, sometimes I stretch it till 8 o'clock. We're actually working and communicating with our sphere. We're going to generate referrals, generate more business. Or Thursday, Friday, we're going to be out door knocking, right? If it's super cold or it's, you live in a climate where you can't be knocking doors, because the weather is crazy, then you just add more warm calls to the mix. That doesn't mean you take time off, because we're going to stay disciplined and consistent to our goals, and you have to make sure you put in the work. And then late at night is when I mix in a little bit more social media or a little bit more social media lead gen, and that's basically following up on all the comments that came in throughout the day, or just really liking, commenting, and DMing more people to keep that social media growth going. Another massive thing that is so important to goal setting is actually setting rewards for milestones accomplished. And I'm not talking about linear goals like your first sale, your fifth sale, your 10th sale. Yes, you want to mix those in, but you also want to mix in prospecting activities and grouped goals. So for example, if you've never sold 3 houses in a week, let's say you do, you got 3 sales in a week, you reward yourself with maybe a weekend off at the spa. Let's say you've never sold 10 houses in a month. That's going to be a pretty good month. Maybe you've been looking at a different kind of outfit or a bag or something like that you want to buy. And the thing is when we're setting these goals and rewards, you cannot buy these things for yourself until you hit the goal. So I have somebody that's on my team right now, they set their goal as a brand new car, and it's a nice car. So I told them, if you're 1 deal short, you can't buy that car. And that will force you actually to stay on track and drive towards your goals, because if you're 1 deal short or 2 deals short from a big, you're going to double down and put all that extra effort in. So we got to make sure that we set goals and rewards around them. And what happens is when you just start going off the path, these mini rewards bring us back on the path. One that I would recommend you start doing as well is whatever your biggest fear on prospecting is, the thing that you're most terrified of, whether that's working your sphere, door knocking, maybe growing your social media, whatever it is, give yourself some goals and rewards around that stuff as well. Another major thing to goal setting is making a commitment to it, and writing down a commitment makes it real. So we actually have to make a commitment statement to myself, because the worst promise you could ever break is the promise you made to yourself. So the one that I've been using, I'll share with you guys. It's something that takes care of my mind, my body, and my business, because those are the most important things. So if you think about those 3 things, taking care of your mind, your body, and your business, what are some things that are important to you in that? So for example, again, for me, it's I promise to wake up, and I wake up really early, guys, because I run a team, so I have to make sure that I take care of all of my stuff before they wake up and start taking care of their stuff. It's the same if you're not running a team, you're only running clients, you can wake up a little bit later. So my commitment statement to myself is I promise to wake up before 4:30 every single morning, hit my morning routine, have an egg white protein shake as my first meal, and prospect a minimum of 2 hours every single day. So what happens, I don't need to work in the gym there. I've been going to the gym for about 20 years consistently. I know that's just part of my daily routine, but eating properly is a big problem for me. So waking up on time is very difficult for a lot of people. Hitting a morning routine is getting your mindset right. So making sure that we're actually just focused and dedicated to our day. Eating something healthy is for my body. And then prospecting for 2 hours is taking care of my business. And lastly, guys, is just a checklist for accountability. So this is something that you want to print off every single day. These first couple pages here, you print off one time. These are what keep you on track for the year. Unless you hit your goals, then you need to obviously readjust these. But this checklist is you print every single day. I recommend you put it in a 3-ring binder, and you actually just check off the boxes. So every day when you wake up in the morning, did you wake up on time? Did you do your affirmations? Did you have your stretch and meditation and your morning motivation? For social media, did you hit your story post, your feed post? Did you update your hashtags and renew your listings? Again, we got all of these strategies on other videos, guys. And then prospecting, this is for you to tally in here. So follow-up calls, you can tally up 5, 10, 15 calls. Warm calls, did you make 4, 5, 10? Door knocking, you can tally in the doors. And then what happens is with all of these things checked off and filled out, You can look back at the week or you can look back at the month because you're printing them every day and putting them in a 3-ring binder. And it's very, very obvious if you are on pace for your business or not, and what happened and where you're failing. So if you're on track, this is going to be filled out every single day, because real estate is truly just a numbers game. The more at-bats you get, the more home runs you're going to hit. It's just as simple as that. So this is going to make sure that you're always swinging all day long. All right, guys, that's the accountability and action plan. And this is setting your goals on your GCI target so you can fill in your own numbers here. And then again, you break all this down into the daily activities that you are going to commit to and then you'll actually do. And then you reverse engineer that up into what it looks like for the year for you. And then by that, you make your schedule. And when you make your schedule, again, you need to stick to it. And then the daily accountability checklist is actually going to make sure that you do the activities that you're supposed to do in the times that you blocked off. Now, I know it looks like you're going to be prospecting all day long, and you are when you're first starting because you don't have any buyers or sellers. So in this game, in the real estate business, if you're not actively working with buyers and sellers, you need to actively work to get buyers and sellers. And then again, through the power of social media and social proof, as you start to get better and you start posting it and you have more value posts, the deals are just going to start coming to your inbox straight, but you have to work to get yourself to that level first. You don't get to start at level 10. You got to start at level 1 and work your way up. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, leave me a comment or DM. Again, I love connecting with successful realtors. If this is something that you think would be powerful to you, there's a link down below if you want to download one. If you want to go through one of my sessions where I actually do goal setting sessions with realtors or some even one-on-one, you can take a look at joining the GSP group, because again, in the GSP group, we nurture each other all the way around. So this is something that I cover every single month with the newbies, and I review every single month with the people that are in there to make sure that they stay on track and they're actually hitting their goals and they're not falling too far behind. All right, guys, so give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and till next time.